Hi, this is Mike. Just doing a quick overview of my Jaguar. This is the X308 series, the XJ8 in particular. This is a 2002, 2003 model. Well, it actually says it's a 2003 model. Um, but I just wanted to do a quick overview of these cars. This one I got from a personal dealer, and the reason why I got it, it does have a few things that needs to be done to it. I've actually run it, had it state inspected, and I'm looking at some suspension work, a little few bits of electrical work here and there. Got to change the tires, well, two of the tires at some point. But the reason why I got this is the engine and the interior and the transmission are in what I would say term excellent condition, or at least good, very good condition. And so I figured it's got good bones, so get it and you know do the work that's on it. Let's take a look at the interior. This is the Vanden Plas version of this car. And I'm going to step back a little bit so you can take a nice look at it. These are beautifully crafted cars. They're so well. Uh, it's a timeless design. These are considered the original, I guess, the Jaguars that have all the character. These are the steel-bodied ones. They changed to the aluminum ones starting from the latter part of 2003, going forwards with a different shape. Those are still nice cars, different engines, of course. But I truly believe, and true Jaguar aficionados truly believe that Jaguar really got it right with this design. So the Vanden Plas, you can see, has a longer doors, so you've got a lot more space. Jaguars have never had that much interior space, but nicely, this Vanden Plas version does have the long space, as you can see. Uh, Wood panel trimmings on this one. This one has the table trays. Lift these up, and they come right out. You can have your tea at the back here, if you so wish. Feel like an English nobleman. Um, Seats on these are in very good condition. It's got the gray piping, gray Connolly leather with the gray piping. Not sure they sat in these ones that much. Um, the seats at the rear are heated seats. And if you look on the passenger side of that, there's some buttons there where you can actually move the seat backwards and forwards. You've got the air conditioning heater vents here at the back as well. Um, and, uh, you know, it's a pretty nice interior. That's one of the reasons why I got this. Actually, interior is quite nice. If you look down here, the speaker here is there's a crack in the speaker, but I didn't think that was big enough for me to let go. And the flooring doesn't have the original floor mats, but the flooring actually I thought was pretty well kept. Um, so I uh, took a chance on this. One thing that you find with these cars is the headliners tend to go quite bad. Uh, they've done some attempt at fixing the headliner on this. It's not doesn't look like a very the most professional job, but at least I don't have a sagging headliner. Now you can see there where the sunroof is. That's starting to come off a little bit. We'll get to that in time. The sunroof in this particular car works very well. So, okay, these cars tend to, well, in prior versions of these cars, especially in Europe, tended to have rust issues. I've checked this car out. I do not see any rust. I've had it, in fact, when we had the inspection, there was no rust either. So that was pretty good. Let's take a look around. You can see it's got the leaper here. One interesting thing with these is you can actually, um, let's see, you can turn these around. So I thought that was quite interesting. Now, I think the reason for that is because some people thought that if you this might be dangerous. I don't think so. It's within the range of this. You've got the Jaguar face emblem there. Um, these cars really look great, to be honest with you. I do not like to see these cars modified. I just think they look fantastic the way they are. You can see these steel alloy rims on there. These cars come with the big tires, which actually makes them really good in terms of handling wise. Let's take a look at the passenger version. Of course, you've got this V8 here because this car does have the V8 engine in it. Um, this car does have a very nice interior, I think. That's one of the reasons why I got it. Um, I will say this car does have high mileage. It's got 226,000 miles. A lot of people, you can notice there's a little tear on the driver's seat there, um, but that should be fixable, I think. Um, Wooden steering, transmission. This is called the J gate. Um, and oh, it's got the Vanden little letters and Vanden over there. One thing I've found out was that um, these the wood, apparently each Jaguar um, has an almost like an individual uh, wood, I guess, styling to it. No one's actually the same. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I've been told, and I would like to believe that. Some nice touches. You notice the steel. Um, what do you call these? I guess doorknobs or whatever. That's a nice, classy touch there. I like the fact that they've got the V8 emblem here as well. And of course, looking down here, see Jaguar at the side. Uh, to me, it's these little touches that really make this car shine. We'll talk about the mechanics. Oh, one other thing with this one, this doorknob does not open with the central locking system, so I'm having to open it manually. Um, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's not too much of a big deal. And you've got the typical Jaguar um, signature um, tail lights, which I really like. I like the design of those tail lights as well. So, what can I say about this? It is well. Let's take a look at the engine compartment of this. Let's see where we are with this. Let's see what the engine compartment looks like. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna open this here, and these open the wrong way around. All right. Another reason why I got this vehicle, I love the look of the engine bay. It's not dirty. It's relatively clean. Um, this here tells me that the struts, or rather the shock absorbers or the struts, however you want to call them, definitely need to be replaced. And I, when I did the inspection, that did come up. So we will be replacing the struts on these cars. This car does not have what's called the CATS, which is the adaptive suspension. I think this has the regular coils, Bilstein coils, and that's what we'll be replacing these with. Engine bay on this looks great. You start her up, she sounds nice and quiet. Of course, see there's the Jaguar V8, the 4.0. The versions that came after this car had the 4.2, and of course, there's an XJR version of this car which has uh, same engine, but it has a supercharger, an Eaton supercharger that's mounted on top of this, and that produces, I believe, 390 horsepower. This power plant here produces about 290 horsepower, which is plenty powerful. It's not so much the thrust, uh, but it's the smoothness with which this car generates the power through, of course, through the rear wheels. Um, I thought the Lexus LS 400 430 was a smooth power plant. I don't know. Jaguar did a really great job with this. And I think the interesting thing is this motor, or this engine, was built from the ground up by Jaguar. A lot of people think it's a Ford engine that was just thrown in here, but that's not the case. My research, and I'm sure I'm right with this, indicates that Jaguar was given uh, quite some leeway by Ford to go ahead and produce their own engine, and I think they came up with a real winner with this. This is a great engine. I think back in the day, back in the early 2000s, Ward's mentioned that this was one of the 10 best engines in its class, and I would agree. It is a fantastic um, engine. The early versions of this engine had some issues. Um, with the tensioners, the primary, secondary guides, and the tensioners tended to be brittle because they were made with plastic, and they kind of, you know, distinguated after certain mileage. Jaguar did their best to take care of that problem. In some cases, having to replace engines. And over the years, between 98 to 2000, 2001, they kept doing several little itsy bitsy upgrades to make sure that the engines would last. And so if you end up buying a 2002, 2003 version of this car, and this is one of those that falls into that, you probably would have gotten past that stage where everything should have been upgraded. This car has 227,000 miles on it, so I am pretty sure that those secondary guides uh, have been updated to the fully metal ones. Engine runs fine. I'm going to start her up in a little bit so you guys can hear what she sounds like. A couple of interesting things here. Uh, Open this up, and Jaguar actually gives you a little toolbox with some extra bulbs. I thought that was interesting. Um, so that was quite interesting. Oh, one of the things with these cars, once you notice these great brownish residue there, that kind of tells you that the coils or the struts are definitely going to need to be changed. So, but this car is like I said, one of the reasons why I got it was the engine, despite the mileage, was really really nice. All right, so let's start her up and let's see what this baby sounds like. All right, Jaguar has a very unique keys. This is what they look like. Let's see. All right, nice. Oh, oh, listen to that baby purr. Ooh. All right, so when I got the inspection done, they did tell me that I might be needing a new valve cover. I looked at the history of this car. It did show that the valve cover gaskets were replaced maybe a couple of years back. It does have high miles, so I wouldn't be surprised if I have to replace the valve cover gasket. It's not too much of a big deal, to be honest with you, to replace the valve cover gasket. So I will be replacing that at some point. But listen to that engine. Just purrs along. You wouldn't think that this thing has 200,000 oh, one other thing. Jaguars have their fuse boxes at the back. So I'm going to show you where the fuse boxes are in these cars. I'll pull this out. And we got a whole bunch of fuses right back here. The Jaguar manual actually tells you where which fuses and where to get the fuse boxes. So that's pretty good. I'll put that back. It's the right place. There's another fuse box that's located in the trunk. So let's open the trunk. I've got some stuff in the trunk, guys. So bear with some of the mess you might see.